Hey everybody, welcome back to At Home with Shelby. I'm Shelby and I'm a wife and a mom, and today we are going to talk about another great topic in education. Today's topic is schools are becoming unsafe, not just for kids, but for teachers too. We're going to look at a few videos today about what's going on in our schools and talk about why is this happening? Why is nothing being done? Why isn't this getting better? So we're going to take a look at our first video, and there is a teacher organizing a student fight in a classroom. Let's see what we've got here.
You are watching a student's secret recording of a substitute teacher in a Texas classroom.
Nobody wants to fight. Not joking. I'll take your phone to the office.
What the student captured on video prompted an immediate investigation, the school district says. The video shows the teacher organizing fights inside the classroom.
What I need you to do is stand by that door and hold it in case somebody comes in. This is not a joke. Be quiet.
Ready? There you go.
The school district says the teacher has been fired. The Mesquite Police Department says they are investigating the incident.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a new one for me. I've not heard of that happening, but that is insane. And I am glad to hear that that substitute teacher has been fired. I'm very interested in knowing why she thought that was a good idea. Maybe she thought they were going to fight anyway, so she might as well organize it. But nevertheless, very bad idea. We are going to look at another video now about this topic of unsafe schools.
She'll add teacher and she goes off.
Are you serious? Who threw this shoe? Who threw this shoe at me? Literally, who threw this shoe? Get the police. Get the police. Who threw this shoe? Who threw this shoe? Speak up. Was it you? So you ain't even got the shoe on.
That's not mine.
This is definitely your shoe.
No, it's not.
Are you serious right now?
That's not my shoe.
Are you serious right now? You
I'm
really
serious.
took
That's
your
not my
shoe
shoe.
off and thought it was okay to throw a shoe at me?
That's not my shoe.
It's definitely your shoe. Really? Really? This is your shoe?
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Prove it.
I am proving it. You have one shoe on and one shoe off.
I just wore one shoe.
Literally, at this point, let me express something to you. I am not your mother. I did not come to school to play with nobody else's kids.
Okay.
That was totally disrespectful for you to throw a shoe while I'm trying to teach in my class.
I didn't do it.
At this point, I'm going to ask you to leave. Leave my classroom. You're being disrespectful. Totally.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, you're gonna go somewhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
You're definitely gonna go somewhere.
Maybe.
You're
I'm
gonna
not
go
going anywhere.
out my classroom.
Okay.
Listen. I don't know what your mama allowed you to do. I don't know what your father, your aunties, your uncles. I don't know who allowed you to act like this. But in my classroom, I don't allow it. I don't allow it. I'm not gonna accept it. And I want you to get up and get out of my classroom.
I'm not going anywhere.
Put your shoe on.
Oh yeah, thank
Put
you.
your shoe
Put my
on.
shoe on.
I am. Put your shoe on.
Thank you.
You can put your leg down, put your shoe on, get ready to get up,
I'm not
get out of my classroom.
comfortable like this.
No, you actually really starting to irritate me. I'm talking about on a whole nother level. I have tried to be nice. I have tried to be civil with you. You being
Can
disrespectful.
you try this for me?
I'm not tying nothing. I'm not tying nothing. At this point, I don't even want you out of my classroom. I want you going from the school because if you act like this,
You don't have that authority.
oh, I got authority. But look at me when I'm talking to you. It's a sign of disrespect. Really? Really? No. Yeah, you totally disrespectful.
This is
Do you act like this towards your mother? Do you act like this towards your mother?
And if I do,
It's disgraceful. It's a shame.
she don't complain.
That's because she had you. I didn't. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to get up out your seat and get out of my class because at this point,
I'm not
you
getting up.
disrupting.
Wow. Okay. Well, I noticed that this was apparently captured by another student in class. So there's a lot going on, right? We've got kids videoing things happening in class. And then we've got this teacher and this student in this battle of the wills, right? This student pulls off her shoe, flings it at the teacher, and then the teacher is, trying to discipline the student, and the student is not having it. The student is denying that it's their shoe, even though they only have one shoe on. They are being completely belligerent and saying they're not going to do anything that the teacher is telling them to do. So you see a couple of dynamics happening here, right? As a mom, I'm horrified, right? right? If I had done this when I was a child, I would have just been in horrific trouble. Like I might still be in my room, right? So I am appalled just knowing that I was not raised this way, and I would just have, I don't know, I just might have spontaneously combusted out of embarrassment if this had happened in a class, or if a friend of mine, or if I knew of this happening to someone personally. It would have blown my mind. So as a mom, I'm just appalled at this child. This young teenage girl's audacity, right? And then I also noticed that the teacher did a good job of not yelling. She remained as calm, I think, as she could reasonably be expected to remain. I do notice that as she was telling all of these things to this girl, it was just going completely over the girl's head. It just was not, she was not listening in any form. There was no authority. Like the teacher was claiming, like, I am the teacher, I have authority to do something. And there was no way for her to back that up because for whatever reason, there wasn't a supportive structure in place for her to get someone to resolve the situation. There wasn't an effective discipline structure in the school, at least from what I can tell just from this short video, for her to have any backup for her authority. So the best she could do is tell the girl to get out of class. Well, the girl may have wanted to leave the class anyway. So we've got this horrible situation where kids don't really want to be in school. So if they act up and get thrown out of school, they've not lost anything. They've actually gained something. They have what they want. They're not where they won't want to be. So, and then teachers are completely drained of authority so that really they're just giving kids like little talking tos that the kids aren't listening to at all. So I am just appalled at this kind of behavior from kids. And from what I hear, this is pretty common. All right. So now we're going to look at another video, and the description I have for it is a student attacking another student. And I don't believe I've seen this one yet. So we're going to see what is happening here.
And now to a shocking scene caught on camera inside of a South Florida high school. A scary fight happening during class. And Local 10 News reporter Bridget Matter reports now from Coral Springs High School.
The video is jolting. It shows a male student punching and throwing a female student to the ground. We want to warn viewers this may be disturbing for some. This shocking video is making the rounds on social media. This violent fight is between a male and female student in a Coral Springs High School classroom Wednesday. It appears the male student is spitting on the girl here, knocked to the ground. Then the fight escalates. The girl is hit with force, being slammed to the ground.
Wow, that's so bad. No injury is very interesting comment. I witnessed a couple of injuries right there. So that's interesting. But that's really what a lot of these schools have become. They become these violent places where not only are these kids getting hurt by one another, but the teachers are not safe either. And what I noticed there is the teacher kept trying to step in, but really is hanging back a little bit. Like they seem to be a little hesitant to throw themselves in between the students. And this is just a no-win situation for everybody. I personally react a little strongly to a male teacher not getting between this boy and this girl because I don't know, chivalry may be dying a little bit, but I would think that a grown man would be able to handle this boy better than this girl, but that didn't seem to happen here. And then for this girl to just be attacked over and over by this boy and there's really not any way to stop it, it's becoming where all you have to do is either call in police or send kids home or act like nothing is happening. And then you have this other situation of this is not what teachers signed up for. Teachers signed up to teach class. Teachers signed up for kids to learn. Teachers didn't sign up for breaking up very severe fights. And they didn't sign up for putting their own bodies in the way of injury to just get kids to learn how to read and write and do math and learn history. Like this is not what students are supposed to be in school for. This is not what teachers are supposed to be in school for. What is happening? Why are there no consequences being implemented? Why are students allowed to keep coming back over and over and over to a district where they are not being taught, they are not learning, they are not able to coexist with their fellow students? Why aren't police being brought in more and this being dealt with as a legal issue? This is assault, and it's not just let's go talk to the principal and you might have to go home for today. Like that, something really has to change here. We're going to look at one more recording here of a student attacking a teacher, and it saddens me that these things are all too easy to find many videos like this. Wow, that's really hard to watch, because that teacher was definitely not responding or getting up right after that attack. So you know that was just a horrible experience, and it was hard to watch. And then all of those teachers having to work together to try to pull that boy off. And then I guess the first thing that I thought of was, look at that anger. Look how much emotion and just pent up rage is inside that boy. And I don't know the whole backstory of why he was so angry with that teacher, but how are kids coming to school and have that much emotional trauma building up inside them, and then not being able to release that in any other way? Like, they're not taught any other way to take care of that but to lash out at people. Like, I want to know the story behind this boy. Like, how did he get so much anger against this teacher, and what in his life told him that it was okay to deal with his problems in that way by attacking someone? And then for teachers just walking down the hall innocently and just getting assaulted by a student, like, no wonder teachers are leaving public education. No wonder they're flocking out the doors, because if this is their reality, this is not what they signed up for. This is not what they went to college for. This is not what they got their teaching licenses for. And I'm so sad and so appalled that this is the reality in many of our public schools. And, you know, what do you do about it? I think one of the first things that needs to be done is for administration to start taking discipline a lot more seriously. There's been such a focus on restoration and making sure these kids that have such difficult home lives have a chance. And I think that's great. But I think we have to balance that with safety. And if there is a child that cannot come to school and cannot be at peace with their classmates and their teacher, there's going to have to be an alternative route for students that are violent, whether that is through the juvenile system or whether that is another kind of school that is set up with better security and better, that is just not as free and as pleasant as a regular school. There's going to have to be something where these kids can be kept away from other students and teachers. And I think that schools are going to have to start taking that seriously, because all of the efforts of counseling and focusing on restorative justice, restorative practices, circles where people sit around and talk about, you know, how they feel, like, that's not seeming to make a big difference in what's happening here. And I definitely want these kids that are not getting good home lives or getting resources at home to deal with their issues, I want them to be able to get their issues sorted out. I want those to be addressed. Somebody has to address them. Somebody has to try to get these children back on track with their lives and not just funnel them to the prison system. Like, something has to be done, but we can't continue putting the kids that are behaving and the teachers that are trying to teach. We can't continue putting those teachers on the line every day in situations like this. So definitely something has to change. As a mom, I say, parents, you are the first line of defense here. You have to make sure your kid goes to school and is respectful. And if they're not respectful to their teacher, don't be quick to assume the best of them and the worst of the teacher. Ask good questions. Be really clear with your student about what the consequences are, and have real consequences if they are violent or if they are disrespectful in school, because that has to stop at each door, at the door of your house. That has to stop at your door. And families can't just unleash unruly children on the world and expect that teachers can take care of it or principals can take care of it. Respect and honor and just being a good person starts at the home. And I think that it's really going to have to come back to the home for these problems to get solved in education and in our culture at large.